Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Jeremy from Intense Gaming Productions, and this is kind of a series I'm gonna do. It's gonna be like a 3 or 4 part series. Before I actually tell you what it is, this is a series that I started on my old channel. I never actually finished, probably because I got lazy and I didn't really want to do it. But I feel like you guys should be interested in this, and it's really fun. It's interesting to me, and it's really part of me. I know I just said me like 15 times in that sentence, but whatever. Don't worry about it. So what it is, it's my gaming history. See that super elite stun grenade throw off my buddy's head. But so what my gaming history is. If you didn't know, I'm born in 1995, so I wasn't around for all like the Super Nintendo stuff. But I was around for a lot of like the N64 and like Xbox One, and that's where my gaming history really picks up. So my gaming history starts, I would think, in about 1999. And the first game that I ever played, to my knowledge or my recollection, it's probably between the two here. It's either some Mario Kart 64 or Crazy Taxi for Xbox One. One of these two games, both of them, I never actually owned the Nintendo 64. I always played at my cousin's house because my parents are really against video games, and I was probably between 1995 and say 99, so that 4 years when I was a really small kid. I always really wanted video games because my cousins always had them, and I was just blown away with video games. Like, it was the coolest thing to me. Like, all the bigger kids were playing it, and everyone here has been a little kid, and you know what it's like. You see the older guys playing or playing football or something, you want to play football with them. No matter how much you suck, you wanted to play with them. So I always played my cousins, Mark and John. They've always been nice to me. They're like the late 20s. They're like 10 years older than me. They've always just been so nice to me. They've always like helped me. I've played like LAN tournaments with them for Halo, and they're cool guys. And then my cousin Patrick, who really showed me like he showed me all like the Nintendo stuff. So it splits between two kind of ways there. But so my first game was Crazy Taxi, and I only ever played it probably like once or twice. I never really liked it because there's a time limit, and I was kind of, I guess, slow on picking up controls, so I would end up losing every time. So that wasn't very fun. But with like Mario Kart 64, I got really into it. Like, I remember whenever I went over to my cousin Patrick's house for like family occasions or like just dinners or something, I would like my uncle would be telling me like, "Hey, Jeremy, like it's time to come socialize with us. Like Mario Kart can wait." And I would just be like, I'd be like, "All right, 5 more minutes," and I'd just always be playing it. And it was one of my favorite things to do when I was young. I was so hyped up to play it. It was just awesome. So I was really into Mario Kart. I was never good at it. My cousin was always my cousin was one of those guys who would like really try hard. Like, when everyone else is like just totally doing something else, he'd be practicing until he got it right, so he could beat you the next time. And he would always do that, and he's still kind of like that today. My cousin Patrick is a good guy. He's only, I think, 2 or 3 years older than me, and we still hang out sometimes. He plays lacrosse with me. He got me into lacrosse. He didn't know I play state level lacrosse or provincial level lacrosse, depending on where you live. But so those are my first 2 games. So I'm gonna go. This will probably cover from like 1995 to 2002. 2002, that's where I got my PlayStation 2, and that's where things really started picking up for me. But so I got so again, I kept on playing Mario Kart 64, games like Mario World, things like that. And I remember when I was playing again, I was at my cousin Patrick's house, and I was playing Mario Kart, or not Mario Kart. I was playing Super Mario World or something, and I remember I played for like 10 hours straight, and I remember I just puked like all over his floor or something, because I was like this little kid who just wasn't looked at a screen for like 8 hours, and I just remember I felt so sick. And it's sort of one of my most prominent memories of video games, and it didn't turn me off. It just it's just so funny to me to like think about that, like this little kid just like playing. I'm just like, I don't feel good, Patrick. I just puke all over his bedroom floor. Like, I felt so bad. But so after doing that, playing all these video games and stuff at my cousin's house, I remember I went to my other cousin's house, so Mark and John. I went to theirs. So Mark and John, the people who played Halo, and Patrick is the person who were more like Nintendo and Mario games and stuff like that. So remember I went to Mark and John's house, and they were like really into Halo, and I have a few other Halo stories, so I'll go into that as well. I have a few other they were really into Halo, so they had like 6 TVs set up, and they had like a LAN tournament, and on Halo, and I just remember playing Blood Gulch like over and over and over. And if you didn't know, Blood Gulch is Hemorrhage. It's kind of like Hemorrhage from Halo Reach, or Hemorrhage is kind of like Blood Gulch from what's it called? From Halo Combat Evolved. So I just remember playing Blood Gulch like over and over and over with them, and I couldn't really aim or anything. I was kind of retarded at that, so all I did was use a Scorpion. And I remember once I was really upset while I was playing it, and I was too short to like sit like behind them, like on the couch, or else I couldn't see anything because they were bigger than me. Because they were like maybe like 15 at the time, and I'm like this little 8-year-old kid who can't. No, I'd be like 5 or 6, and they're probably 16. So I'm like this 6-year-old kid, and I'm sitting behind them. I can't see anything, so I was sitting on the back of their couch. And the way their room was set up, it was maybe like a 12 by 12 room with like 3 TVs on one side and 3 TVs on the other, and then couches back to back. So I was sitting like on the back of the 2 couch headrests, and I got really angry. I just like fell backwards onto like 3 of their buddies, and it was like the craziest time. But so yeah, that was I just remember playing so much Halo, and I loved Halo. Halo was one of those games for me that just really put me onto video games. That's where like all my gaming history really started. That and Mario. And I remember also, my mom had like a lot of high school friends who, and like we always went to visit them when I was young. I don't really go now because I don't really want to like sit around with a bunch of old people and like talk about this like 70s, I guess 70s and 80s when my mom was in high school. But her son, he played on the MLG circuit and like went to LAN tournaments for Halo Combat Evolved 2, or Halo Combat Evolved as well, pardon me. And I remember playing Halo with him and his friends, and they were like super good. Like they had like a TV in the back of their car, so like we'd be driving around and be playing Halo well in the back of their car. It was cool. So that was so cool to me, just playing video games to like a little kid when they first started getting big, and like they're kind of breaking that like social injustice of like people thinking they're for nerds. But it was just like the coolest thing to me. Like I think it's just because all like the bigger kids are doing it, and as I said before, like to a little 8 or 10 year old like little dude, like you just want to do what like all the bigger kids are doing. But you know what, this video has a lot of time left on it, so I'm going to talk about, I guess, when I got my PlayStation 2. So, the reason I got my PlayStation 2 is kind of sad. It wasn't for the best news, because my grandma died of cancer. It wasn't because of that, it was good. Well, my parents got divorced in, I guess 2001? 2001 or 2002, so I was 7 at the time. And I remember I got my PlayStation 2 because my parents, my mom was really against it. She also didn't want to watch The Simpsons, which is now my all-time favorite show. And but they didn't want me playing video games with my dad. My dad saw Jeremy wants to play video games, he should do it. So I got my PlayStation 2, and that same year my grandma died of cancer, and that was really sad for me. My grandma was awesome, and but she died, so rest in peace, Grandma. I'm about to shed a tear here now. But so I got a PlayStation 2 because of that, and I remember that was like the coolest thing to me. I remember thinking, I couldn't read at the time because I was really slow to catch on reading. I maybe started reading when I was 9. Plus living in Canada, shit's spelled weird. Like center here is spelled C-E-N-T-R-E. So it looks like Centra if you were to speak French, and I'm shit at French. And I don't know, I'm not good at second languages. I'm very articulate when I'm speaking English, but with French for me, all through school, I totally shit the bed. But so reading here for me was hard because my dad's from the States, so I spent a lot of time in the States growing up as well. But so yeah, I got a PlayStation 2 onto this whole nonsense. I remember thinking the first game I ever got was Ace Combat 4, yeah, Ace Combat 4 and Burnout. Nothing else, just plain Burnout. And I still have Burnout, but I remember I got Ace Combat, and it was I think it was like mature rated or something. And I remember thinking, or maybe it was teen. It was teen, and I remember thinking like mature was, I was like for all the big kids, like there was more reading in it, and it was like more learning stuff. No, I just found it mature as just boobies and blowing off limbs. But I don't know. That's some funny thoughts when I was a little kid. But so I got my PlayStation 2, and it was probably, I don't know how much time I put into the PlayStation 2. I was thinking video games in total over my life, and I'm gonna sound like a huge fucking loser when I say this. I would think I put in a year. I would think I have a year of time on games of my life. I would at least. You know what? This episode's cutting close, you guys. I'll continue in part 2. This is already really fun for me. Hope you enjoy it. Share your gaming history in the comments, you guys. Rate the video. Do whatever you want. It was just another rape sauce demolition. The next one will be Demolition 2. Hope you enjoyed this. Part 2 will be coming up. Have a good one. Peace.